What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Bud Crawford. Get this. Terence Crawford to fight David Avanesyan on December 10th in hometown of Omaha. Errol Spence Jr. wasn't the only opponent Terence Crawford was negotiating to fight next. Crawford told ESPN.com on Thursday night that he will fight David Avanesyan on December 10th at the Shaw Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska, Crawford's hometown. The 35-year-old Crawford will make a voluntary defense of his WBO welterweight title against the Russian-born Avanesyan, who is the WBO's sixth-ranked contender for Crawford's WBO 147-pound title. Crawford's confirmation of his deal to square off against Avanesyan brought an abrupt end to the prolonged negotiations for the long-discussed showdown with Errol Spence, who owns all the rest of the belts, which is the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC welterweight titles. Crawford-Spence is generally regarded as the most meaningful non-heavyweight fight that can be made in boxing, but they failed to come to an agreement despite more than 4 months of negotiations. Wow. Crawford told ESPN that he struck a deal to fight Avanesyan because he didn't think Spence's side was serious about making their fight next. BoxingScene.com reported Thursday morning that Spence's side had grown concerned that Crawford was no longer committed to facing him. Okay. Crawford could revisit the Spence fight, assuming that the heavily favored three-division champion defeats Avanesyan. Spence, which is 28-0 with 22 KOs, a southpaw from DeSoto, Texas, is now also likely to move in a different direction for his fight, which could come against longtime rival Keith Thurman. Let me counterpunch. David Avanesyan, okay? We can talk about what was, and I'll do that in another video, okay? Let's talk about David Avanesyan. How meaningful is the fight? Well, it's like comparing a watermelon to a grape. Or should I say, a watermelon to an orange, right? Because we got David Avanesyan, you know, he's Russian, 5'8". He has 3 losses, 17 by KO, 29 wins, 1 draw. He's been in there with guys like Josh Kelly. He beat Josh Kelly, actually. Of course, Josh Kelly has 1 loss, and that was to David Avanesyan. So that was pretty much his claim to fame. Kavaliauskas, he was beaten by Kavaliauskas and Lamont Peterson. Okay, so you have Lamont Peterson, Evan Kavaliauskas, and who was this first? Andrei Klimov. So I would put him anywhere from a C+ or a B- fighter. B- on a good day, C+ on a regular day. But does he have a terrible record? No, he's number 6 ranked in the world. So, you know, I've definitely heard of who he is. Would you prefer somebody like Victor Ortiz? Sure, if you can't get Errol Spence. But this is what happens when, you know, you have 2 sides that have negotiated too long, and then it seems that this is how it appears. It appears that both sides grew skeptical of the other side. Like, hey, do they really want this shit? Because we've been doing this for 4 months. We've agreed to shit, so that's progress. What else do we work with? So it seems like the more you see and hear of progress, the more it's kind of a jinx situation when it comes to these fights actually being made. Like, hey, this big thing has been done, but then it falls apart by some other shit. And the question you ask yourself, what was the other shit? Okay, what was the other shit that kept this fight up? But again, that's another video. The good news is Terence Crawford's fighting again. He's breaking that 1-year streak that he stopped Sean Porter. Okay, so, you know, if I'm Terence Crawford and I'm 35 years of age, I have to at least keep the bolts and the locks and the joints lubed. I have to get some of this ring rust off of me. I can't go into a fight with Errol Spence and I ain't fought in over a year. Whereas Errol Spence just recently fought, you know, and he's younger, a few years younger than me and all this stuff. So, you know, I think it's a good idea, you know, and it just shows you, though, ending this video, it shows you how fast a fight can get made without all the bullshit. You know what I mean? Because it should never take that long. See, you guys criticize Joshua and Fury. Well, this is another fight to criticize, or a possible fight to criticize, because there was nothing that was holding this fight up. Nothing. You know, but except for the inevitable. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Terence Crawford taking on David Avanesyan. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!